The average Social Security check in America is $1,907. The average rent in America is $2,000. Let that sink in. The government's retirement promise doesn't even cover a roof. Not food, not medicine, not electricity, just the roof, and even that's $93 short. This is not a policy debate. This is arithmetic. And the arithmetic says that millions of seniors are one rent increase, one medical bill, one broken transmission away from homelessness. The American dream didn't just die, it got repoed. But here's what nobody's telling you. There are still pockets of resistance. 8 towns in this country where the math still works. Where $1,800 a month isn't poverty, it's solvency. These aren't glamorous places. They won't be featured in travel magazines. Some are cold. Some are boring. Some are places the economy forgot about, which is exactly why they're still affordable. The inflation-proof bunkers. The places where fixed income freedom isn't a fantasy, it's just Tuesday. We're counting down from doable to total financial liberation. And by the end, you'll know exactly where you can go to survive on Social Security alone if you're willing to make the trade. Number 8. Toledo, Ohio. Median rent in Toledo, Ohio, $795 per month on a $1,800 Social Security check. That leaves you $1,005 for everything else: food, utilities, medicine, gas, and maybe, just maybe, a little left over to breathe. The math works. They call it the Glass City because Toledo was once the glass manufacturing capital of the world. That industry is mostly gone now. But what's left is a scrappy Rust Belt town with honest architecture, beautiful metro parks, and a downtown that's trying harder than most. Lake Erie sits just north of you. The Toledo Museum of Art, one of the best in the Midwest, is free to enter. There's a minor league baseball team, a decent zoo, and neighborhoods where tree-lined streets still feel like something out of the 1950s. It's not flashy, it's not hip, but it's real. Toledo has multiple major hospital systems: ProMedica, Mercy Health, so you won't be driving to hours for a cardiologist. Crime is higher than the national average, but it's concentrated in specific neighborhoods. Stick to West Toledo, Slovenia, or Ottawa Hills, and you're looking at safety levels comparable to any Midwestern suburb. Public transit exists, but you'll want a car. Grocery stores are plentiful. Senior services are solid. Here's why Toledo is cheap. Like Erie winters. From November to March, the sky is a flat, gunmetal gray. The sun disappears. Seasonal depression isn't a joke here, it's a lifestyle. Snowstorms rolling off the lake, and the cold is a wet, biting quality that gets into your joints. Toledo also lost population for decades. Manufacturing left. Young people followed. What remains is a city that's affordable precisely because demand collapsed. That's not a criticism, it's an opportunity, but you need to know what you're buying into. The budget breakdown: $1,800 month, rent 1 BR apartment. Safe neighborhood, $795 utilities, electric, gas, water, $130 groceries, $275 health insurance supplement Medigap, $150 transportation, gas, insurance, maintenance, $175 phone and internet, $75 miscellaneous, savings buffer, $200 total, $1,800. You're not rich, but you're not underwater. Every bill gets paid. Every month, you reset to zero or slightly above. That's what solvency looks like on Social Security. Could you handle 5 months of gray skies and 28-degree Lake Erie wind if it meant never worrying about rent again? Toledo isn't paradise, but it's a paid-off life in a city with real infrastructure. For a lot of seniors drowning in some belt rent hikes, that's starting to look like the best deal on the table. Number 7. Harlingen, Texas. Median rent in Harlingen, Texas, $785 per month. On $1,800, that leaves you $1,015. But here's the kicker: healthcare costs down here are some of the lowest in the entire country. If you're on Medicare and managing prescriptions, this is where your dollar stretches furthest. The math doesn't just work, it works over time. Harlingen sits in the Rio Grande Valley, about 30 minutes from the Mexican border and 45 minutes from South Padre Island. The climate is subtropical, think palm trees, citrus groves, and warm Gulf breezes almost year-round. This is winter Texan territory. Every year, tens of thousands of retirees migrate here from the Midwest and Canada to escape the cold. RV parks fill up. Early bird specials pack the restaurants. There is an entire economy built around seniors who discovered that $1,800 goes twice as far when you're not paying for heat and oil. The town itself is modest, no pretense, no gloss, strip malls and taquerias, dollar stores and palm trees. It's not San Antonio or Austin, but it's warm, it's affordable, and nobody here is judging your 2006 Buick. Valley Baptist Medical Center is right in town, and the region has a surprising density of healthcare providers thanks to the retiree population. Prescription drug costs are lower here than almost anywhere in Texas. Some seniors even cross into Mexico for medications at a fraction of the U.S. price. Consult your doctor and customs regulations. Obviously, crime is moderate. Stick to the established neighborhoods, and you're fine. The community is tight-knit, bilingual, and generally welcoming to newcomers, especially if you're spending money locally. Why is Harlingen so cheap? Because the Rio Grande Valley is one of the poorest regions in America. Median household income here is around $38,000, well below the national average. Infrastructure reflects that. Roads are rougher. Public services are thinner. The nearest major airport with good connections is in San Antonio, nearly 4 hours away. And then there's the humidity. From May to September, the air is thick and tropical. If you have respiratory issues or just hate feeling like you're breathing through a wet towel, this will test you. Also, hurricanes. The Gulf Coast isn't messing around. You'll want renter's insurance and an evacuation plan. The budget breakdown: $1, $800 per month, rent 1 per apartment, $785 utilities, electrica, C is essential, $145 groceries, $250 health insurance supplement, $135 transportation, $165 phone and internet, $70. Miscellaneous savings, $250 total, $1. $800. Notice that miscellaneous buffer is slightly larger here. That's intentional. Cost of living is lower, so your margin expands. You actually have breathing room. The interactive question: could you handle summer humidity? Border town infrastructure. And being 4 hours from a major airport, if it meant your prescriptions cost half as much and your rent stays under $800? Harlingen isn't glamorous, but for a senior on a fixed income with ongoing medical costs, it might be the most strategically intelligent place in America to land. Warm weather, cheap health care, a community that actually understands retirement economics. That's not a compromise, that's a calculated move. Number 6. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Median rent in Tulsa, Oklahoma, $850 per month on $1,800. That leaves you $950 for everything else. But here's where Tulsa gets interesting. The city has actively invested in attracting new residents. There are relocation incentives, grants, programs that, depending on your situation, might literally pay you to move there. The math works, and sometimes Tulsa adds a bonus. Tulsa was once the oil capital of the world. The downtown skyline is studded with gorgeous Art Deco buildings from the 1920s, boom architectural gems that most cities would kill for. The Arkansas River runs through town. The Gathering Place is one of the best public parks in America. It's free. There's a legit art scene, good restaurants, and a downtown that's seen real revitalization. This isn't a forgotten Rust Belt town or a dusty prairie outpost. Tulsa has culture, it has energy, and it has more infrastructure than most cities on this list, while still being shockingly affordable. Healthcare is excellent. St. John Medical Center and Hillcrest are both major hospital systems with full senior services. The city has solid public transit by Oklahoma standards, which, admittedly, is a low bar. You'll still want a car. Crime is higher than the national average, particularly in certain zip codes. But there are plenty of safe, quiet neighborhoods on the south and east sides, senior centers, libraries, community programs. Tulsa has real civic infrastructure. This isn't a place you're hiding from civilization. It's a mid-sized city that just happens to cost half of what comparable cities charge. Why is Tulsa cheap? 2 words: Tornado Alley. This is peak severe weather country. From April through June, you will hear tornado sirens. You will see green skies. You will learn what a watch versus a warning means, and you will have a plan. If you're moving from somewhere that doesn't have weather that can kill you in 90 seconds, This is a mental adjustment. Also, the heat. Oklahoma summers are brutal 100-degree days with humidity. That feels personal. Air conditioning isn't optional, it's survival. And politically, Tulsa is conservative Oklahoma, if that matters to you. Factor it in. The budget breakdown $1,800 month. Rent 1BR apartment. Safe neighborhood. $850 utilities expect higher A/C costs in summer. $140 groceries. $260 health insurance supplement. $145 transportation. $170 phone and internet. $75 miscellaneous. Savings. $160 total. $1,800 tighter than Harlingen, but still solvent. Every bill paid. Every month, you break even orange forward. Could you live with tornado season and 100-degree summers if it meant Art Deco architecture? A real cultural scene, and rent that's half of what Austin charges. Tulsa is probably the most real city on this list. It's not a rural escape or a forgotten town, it's a functional metro area, where seniors can access genuine urban amenities without urban prices. The trade-off is weather that occasionally tries to kill you. For some people, that's a deal breaker. For others, it's just called spring. Number 5. Davenport, IOWA. Median rent in Davenport, Iowa, $765 per month. The math works, and in Davenport, so does the peace. Davenport sits on the Mississippi River, part of the Quad Cities metropolitan area that straddles Iowa and Illinois. It's a river town in the classic American sense: bridges, barges, waterfront parks, and a slower pace of life that feels almost aggressively Midwestern. There's a minor league baseball stadium downtown, a decent arts scene, lots of locally owned diners and cafes. The architecture is a mix of historic brick buildings and mid-century practicality. It's not exciting, it's not trendy, but it's stable in a way that most of America has forgotten how to be. If you want drama, move to Florida. If you want to know exactly what every month of your life will look like financially, Davenport delivers. Genesis Health System and United Point Health are both major hospital networks with full services. You're not in a healthcare desert, this is a regional medical hub for eastern Iowa. Crime is below the national average. Public transit exists, but a car makes life easier. Senior services are well established. The Quad Cities area has over 400,000 people, so you have access to big box stores, chain pharmacies, and all the infrastructure of a mid-sized metro. Winters are cold, but not Toledo gray. You get actual seasons. Falls are beautiful, springs are mild, summers are warm but manageable. Why is Davenport cheap? Because it's Iowa. There's no ocean, no mountains, no national parks within a day's drive. The cultural scene, while earnest, isn't going to compete with Nashville or Santa Fe. If you need stimulation, if you need new, Davenport might feel suffocating after a year. The economy here is stable, but not growing. Young people leave. The vibe is retiree friendly precisely because there's not much else pulling people in. That's a feature or a bug depending on your priorities. Also, flooding. The Mississippi doesn't always behave. River towns have river problems. The budget breakdown $1,800 month. Rent 1BR apartment, $765. Utilities $125. Groceries $265. Health insurance supplement $150. Transportation $175. Phone and internet $70. Miscellaneous. Savings $250 total. $1. $800. That $250 buffer is meaningful. It's the difference between surviving and slowly building a safety net. In Davenport, you're not just breaking even, you might actually save. Could you handle being 3 hours from the nearest cool city if it meant living on a river? Never worrying about rent and banking to $150 a month. Davenport is what retirement was supposed to look like before everything got so expensive. Quiet, stable, affordable, safe. It's not a place you brag about at cocktail parties, but you might actually be able to afford cocktails. That's the trade-off. Boring for solvent for a lot of seniors. That's starting to sound like the best deal in America. Number for Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Median rent in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, $925 per month. That's higher than our previous entries, but still leaves you $875 on a $1,800 check. What you're buying with that extra rent money is access to good weather, excellent health care, and a location in a state that hasn't fully exploded yet. The math is tighter here, but the quality of life multiplier might justify it. Winston-Salem is a mid-sized southern city with deep roots in tobacco and textiles industries that have largely moved on, leaving behind beautiful historic architecture and a surprisingly vibrant art scene. There's an old money elegance to parts of the city, balanced by college town energy from Wake Forest University. You're 90 minutes from the Blue Ridge Mountains, hiking, fall foliage, and cooler summers are all within reach. The weather is genuinely pleasant, mild winters, warm but not brutal summers, and the kind of long spring and fall seasons that make people move to the south in the first place. Downtown has been revitalized. There are craft breweries, local restaurants, and an arts district that punches above its weight. It's not charlatan, frankly. That's the point. Here's where Winston-Salem earns its spot on this list. Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. It's a nationally ranked hospital system, and it's right there in town. If you're managing chronic conditions, if you need specialists, if you want access to cutting-edge care without paying New York prices, this is your city. Crime is moderate, like most southern cities. There are neighborhoods to avoid and neighborhoods that feel like small towns. The senior population is substantial, so services are built out. Public transit is limited, but the city is manageable with a car. Winston-Salem is cheap now, but North Carolina is in the crosshairs. Charlotte is booming. Raleigh is booming. Asheville has already priced out anyone on a fixed income. The entire state is experiencing a migration wave from the Northeast and Midwest, and housing prices are climbing. Winston-Salem has stayed affordable partly because it's not as flashy as its neighbors, but that buffer won't last forever. If you're moving here, you're making a bet that you can lock in today's prices before the wave hits. That bet might pay off, or you might watch rents climb 20% over the next 5 years and find yourself priced out again. Also, North Carolina summers are humid. Not Harlingen level, but enough to matter. The budget breakdown: $1,800 a month, rent 1BR apartment, $925 utilities, $130. Groceries, $260 health insurance supplement, $145 transportation, $170 phone and internet, $70 miscellaneous, savings, $100 total. $1,800. That $100 buffer is thin. Winston-Salem is the first city on this list where you're genuinely living on the margins. One car, repair, one medical copay, and you're dipping into next month. This is doable, but it's not comfortable. Could you handle tighter margins and an uncertain future? If it meant living 90 minutes from mountains, having access to world-class health care, and betting on a city that hasn't peaked yet, Winston-Salem is a gamble. You're trading margin for quality of life, betting that the healthcare, the weather, and the location are worth living a little closer to the edge. For some seniors, especially those with significant medical needs, that bet makes sense. For others, the razor-thin buffer is a flashing warning sign. Know which one you are before you pack. Number 3. Peoria, Illinois. Median rent in Peoria, Illinois, $750 per month on $1,800. You have $1,050 left. The math doesn't just work, it laughs at what other cities charge. Peoria sits on the Illinois River, about 2.5 hours southwest of Chicago. It is the prototypical anywhere USA city, so much so that marketers have literally used it for decades to test products on average Americans. There's a riverfront park, a minor league baseball team, a zoo, a handful of local breweries. The architecture ranges from Victorian mansions to mid-century brick ranches, all available at prices that would make someone from Denver weep. This is not a glamorous city. It's not trying to be. It's a place where people live quiet, normal lives and do so without spending every dime they earn. OSF St. Francis Medical Center is one of the largest hospitals in downstate Illinois, and Unity Point Health is also a major player. You have full access to senior health care services without driving hours. Caterpillar's corporate headquarters is here, though they've scaled back, so the infrastructure of a real company town still exists. Crime is moderate, higher than the national average, but concentrated in specific areas. The safer neighborhoods on the north and west sides are genuinely pleasant, with good schools, parks, and community centers. Why is Peoria so cheap? Because it's Illinois. Property taxes in Illinois are among the highest in the nation. Peoria has lost population for decades. Young people leave for Chicago, or they leave the state entirely. What remains is an aging city with shrinking tax revenue trying to maintain infrastructure built for a larger population. If you're renting, Illinois' dysfunction matters less. If you're buying, do the full math including taxes. The budget breakdown: $1,800 month renter. Rent 1 per apartment. $750 utilities, $125 groceries, $260 health insurance supplement, $150 transportation, $175 phone and internet, $70 miscellaneous, savings, $270 total, $1. $800. That $270 buffer is solid. For renters, Peoria offers real margin of ability to save, absorb shocks, and build a cushion. Could you handle Illinois bureaucracy, gray Midwestern winters, and a city that's slowly shrinking if it meant renting for $750 in a place with real hospitals and real infrastructure? Peoria is the unsexy answer to an impossible question. It won't excite you. It won't inspire Instagram posts. But it will pay your bills, keep you near doctors, and let you bake a couple $100s a month. In 2024, that's not settling, that's winning. Number to Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Median rent in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, $875 per month. That leaves you $925 on an $1,800 Social Security check. But here's what you're getting for that money: New England culture, mountains for seasons, and prices that somehow got stuck in 1997. The math is tight, but the value is extraordinary. Pittsfield is the largest city in the Berkshires, a region of western Massachusetts known for rolling hills, autumn foliage, and a cultural density that rivals cities 10 times its size. Tanglewood, the summer home of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, is 15 minutes away. The Norman Rockwell Museum is down the road. There are independent bookstores, farm-to-table restaurants, and hiking trails that make fall feel like a personal gift. The downtown is walkable and surprisingly lively. Historic brick buildings, local shops, a renovated colonial theater that hosts real performances. It's small-town New England with access to world-class culture. You will not find this combination of affordability and quality anywhere else on the East Coast. Berkshire Medical Center is a full-service hospital right in town, part of a regional network with solid senior care. The Berkshires attract retirees specifically because of the healthcare infrastructure combined with the quality of life. Crime is low, well below national averages. The community is tight-knit, educated, and welcoming to newcomers, especially retirees. There's a farmer's market, a library system, and the kind of civic engagement that feels almost quaint. Winters are cold. This is New England, but nothing you can't handle with proper layering and a good attitude. Why is Pittsfield so cheap? Because the economy collapsed and never recovered. General Electric was the major employer here for decades. When GE left, it didn't just take jobs, it took the tax base, the young people, and the future. What remains is a beautiful town with an aging population, limited job opportunities, and infrastructure that sometimes feels held together by nostalgia. The Berkshires are a retirement destination precisely because there's no economic reason for anyone under 50 to stay. That's great for housing prices. It's less great if you want a vibrant, growing community. Also, Massachusetts taxes, they're not as bad as Illinois, but they're not Texas either. And the cost of heating a New England home in January is not trivial. The budget breakdown: $1, $800 per month. Rent 1 per apartment, $875 utilities, heating cost higher in winter, $165 groceries to $170. Health insurance supplement, $145 transportation, $160. Phone and internet, $75 miscellaneous, savings, $110 total, $1,800. The $110 buffer is then similar to Winston-Salem. But what you're buying is a quality of life that usually costs 3 times as much. Could you handle a depressed economy, cold winters, and limited growth if it meant living in one of the most beautiful, culturally rich regions in America for under $900 a month in rent? Pittsfield is the New England exception, the place that proves you don't have to be wealthy to live somewhere beautiful. The economy failed, and in failing, it preserves something most of America has lost: affordability in a place worth living. This isn't survival. This is fixed income freedom with a view. Number 1. Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Median rent in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, $650 per month. The math doesn't just work. The math sets you free. Johnstown is a small city in the Allegheny Mountains of western Pennsylvania, about 70 miles east of Pittsburgh. It's famous for two things: the Johnstown flood of 1889, one of the deadliest disasters in American history, and being one of the cheapest places to live in the entire country. This is gritty Appalachian America. The steel mills closed decades ago. The population has declined for 50 years. What remains are tree-covered hills, tight-knit neighborhoods, and housing prices that seem almost fictional. The downtown is modest. The architecture is a mix of Victorian-era brick and mid-century practicality. There are local restaurants, a small art scene, and the kind of community where people still wave at strangers. It's not polished. It's not trendy. But it's real and it's yours if you want it. Conemaugh Memorial Medical Center is a full-service hospital with solid senior care. You're not in a healthcare desert. Pittsburgh, with its world-class hospitals, is 90 minutes away if you need specialists. Crime is low. Violent crime rates are well below the national average. The community is aging, which means senior services are well developed. Churches, community centers, and local organizations provide real social infrastructure for retirees. Winters are cold and snowy, but nothing extreme by northeastern standards. You'll need a car. Why is Johnstown so cheap? Because the economy died and nobody came to the funeral. Steel left. Manufacturing left. The young people left. This is not a place with a future in the conventional sense. It's not growing. It's not attracting investment. It's not on anyone's list of up-and-coming cities. It's simply surviving, which, ironically, makes it perfect for people who just need to survive. If you need excitement, stimulation, or a sense of upward momentum, Johnstown will feel like a dead end. If you need solvency, it will feel like salvation. The budget breakdown: $1,800 month, homeowner at $35,000 purchase. Mortgage 15-year, 7% rate on $35,000, $315 property taxes and insurance, $150 utilities, $140 groceries, $260 health insurance supplement, $145 transportation, $175 phone and internet, $70. Miscellaneous savings, $545 total, $1,800. Read that again. $545 a month in discretionary savings on Social Security alone, in a house you own outright in 15 years. This is what financial freedom looks like when you stop chasing the places everyone else wants to be. Could you handle a declining town, Appalachian winters, and being 90 minutes from anywhere if it meant owning your home outright and banking $500 a month? Johnstown is the ultimate survivor's choice. It's not beautiful in a postcard way. It's not exciting. It's not even particularly hopeful. But it's cheap, it's safe, and it's solvent. In an economy designed to drain every last dollar from fixed-income Americans, Johnstown is the ultimate act of financial rebellion. You stop playing a game you can't win. You take your check, you buy your house, and you live. That's not giving up. That's strategic retreat. Here's the final truth nobody wants to say out loud: these prices won't last forever. Every year, more seniors hit retirement with less savings. Every year, more people discover these affordable pockets. Every year, rents creep up a little more, even in Toledo, even in Johnstown. The lifeboats are still floating, but they're filling up. If you ray drowning, if you ray watching your rent eat your check, and wondering how you'll make it to the first of the month, stop waiting. Stop hoping the math will change. It won't. The system isn't broken, it's working exactly as designed. It's just not designed for you. But you can step outside that system. You can move to a place where your Social Security check covers the bills. You can trade weather, or excitement, or proximity for solvency. You can choose survival. These 8 towns aren't paradise. They're not glamorous. Some are cold. Some are boring. Some are places the economy forgot. But they're solvent. The math works. And in 2024, that's the rarest thing in America. If you found this useful, subscribe. We're building a library of survival economics for people the system left behind. No hype. No gimmicks. Just the math that saves lives. We'll see you in the next one.